Hey guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. So today I'm going to be going over one of my wedding teasers with you guys. I'm going to tear it apart shot by shot so you guys know exactly what equipment I used, how I was able to get the shot with the bride and groom, and really just how much work goes into one of these 1-minute videos. So before we get started, let's check it out. So what you just saw was about 55 seconds of footage. There's only 19 shots in there, but it took me an entire day to get those 19 shots. So let's go ahead and go through it shot by shot. Like I said, there's only 19 shots in here. This shouldn't take too long, but I want to go ahead and go over what kind of equipment I used for each and every shot. I want to show you guys exactly how I was able to get the shot, why I chose that direction for the shot, and what was going on at the time that I got that. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. So this very first shot, it opens up with a nice aerial drone shot of the location. Now, what I like to use drones for is really just to introduce the scene of where we're at. So for example, if we're looking at this particular shot, let me go ahead and put this right here. This pine tree right here was actually just standing by itself. All these other little pine trees around here were kind of just off to the side, grouped together. This one was just standing by itself. So what I wanted to do was actually reveal the house and the venue from behind this pine tree. What I like to do is fly all the way out, and I'll actually go ahead and start flying in and tilting the camera down just like that. So it helps me reveal the scene, and it helps me show the viewer where everything's happening at. Another thing I like to do is actually reverse this. So instead of flying towards the location, I actually fly out and tilt up as I'm flying out. So moving on. Very next shot is the shot of the dress. What I actually did for this shot was I used the Came 7800 Steadicam, the one I showed you in last week's video. And it was a 24mm prime lens. And what I really did with this shot was same thing kind of with the drone. I'm walking forward and tilting up this time as I'm actually getting this shot. So you can see that action right there. Now we move on to the ring shot. So what we have here is we have the bride's engagement ring, we have her wedding band, and we also have her grandma's ring, and of course the groom's wedding band right here. So what I actually use for this shot right here is the Edelkrone Wing 7 slider, the slider I showed you guys in the video the previous week. And I use my 24mm prime lens, again with that ND filter. Alright, so this very next shot, the bride, and this is Pamela. So Pamela is getting her makeup done right now. So at this point, what you want to do is, I call this the bride zone. I want to make sure that I'm able to put the bride in a place where people are going to be able to walk up to her. She doesn't have to go to them. So I always like to set the bride up by a window or some type of natural light, somewhere that is wide open, lit nicely just on its own. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and pop in this ring light also. So there she is getting ready. This right here is just a simple Steadicam shot. It's just very slowly orbiting by the door frame. So whenever it comes to your slider shots, your Steadicam shots, I personally like to make sure I have things in the foreground so that way it accentuates that movement. So that is that shot right there. 24mm prime, ND filter, pretty much it, Steadicam. So this particular shot right here, During a wedding day, I do more directing than I do just filming every single little thing that happens. For example, I saw the bride right here and one of her bridesmaids taking a selfie together. It looked pretty awesome, so I asked them, hey, do it one more time for me. So what I actually did with this one is a 50 millimeter on a monopod. And all I'm doing with that monopod is just very slowly moving it and orbiting that way from behind the phone right here. So this phone is acting as my foreground element. That way I can go ahead and reveal Pamela and I can reveal her bridesmaids. So we can go ahead and check that shot out. Boom. Now, when you are directing and when you are staging things, you are going to get multiple shots of multiple things. So for example, I got them to do this twice, okay? So the very first time was what we just saw right here. And then the second time, they went ahead and did it again. So that way I can get the B angle. Next shot, moving on to this right here is the best man and the groom. So the best man is kind of helping the groom getting ready. This right here is a 50, this right here is actually a 50 millimeter Steadicam shot. The whole bridal party was actually already dressed at this point, so I asked the groom and his best man to come downstairs and pretty much just get the groom undressed really quick. So that means his jacket, if he's wearing a tux, his vest, his tie, loosen that up or take it off. And maybe undo a button or so. And if he's wearing a watch, go and take that watch off. So that shot right there, there's that B angle, same thing, 50 millimeter Steadicam. We got that shot right there. Now, another shot of Pamela getting her makeup done. So this shot was actually staged. Now, what we did was I set the ring light up directly in front of her and I asked her to look directly through the middle of that ring light. When you do that, that ring light is going to make a ring right around her pupils if she's looking right through it. So as you see right here, I'm actually behind the ring light, so that way it looks like she's looking right through it into the camera. And I'm actually just kind of orbiting up and tilting down as I'm going. So we're gonna go right into her getting dressed. I'm obviously not in there when the bride is getting dressed. So what we actually did for her was once everything in the front was covered up, she was still not zipped up yet, we went ahead and took her out into the foyer of the house. I'm actually standing on the balcony that I hung the dress from earlier. So I got all the bridesmaids out there. You can't see them all right now. There's just 3 right here. I got Pamela standing in the middle. There's actually the front door right here that we have open a little bit to bring in some more natural light. And then we have, of course, Mom right here. Now, I get Mom to zip up the dress a couple of different times. I normally tell Mom, hey, you're gonna do this about 5 times for me. It's okay, just don't clasp it at the top. Now, this shot. So let's go ahead and cut the music on really quick. We're gonna go back to this ring light shot. So you hear the drop in that music. I like to edit to the beat. So at this point, the beat changed. We want to go ahead and put something fun in there. So turn the volume back off. That was actually a 14 millimeter lens, Steadicam shot. All I was doing was really just walking to the right and pretty much lifting my hands up like a crane. So lifting up and tilting down at the same time. Creates a really cool effect. I like to shoot towards light. It was very dark on the dance floor, so I don't normally put a ring light up, but first time doing it and it turned out really good, so I'm happy with it. So that's all we did there. So this right here was actually a really special moment because normally we have a gift exchange or a letter exchange. This was really big because he reacted immediately to this ring, which was really cool. I actually used the Steadicam with the 50 millimeter lens up there. Really just a quick orbiting shot. I get these shots after they've already opened it, after they've already reacted, because you don't want to ruin that genuine reaction. So I do all of this detail type stuff afterwards. This was the real reaction. Now, at this point, he just opened up the ring. Boom, he's reacting. So what you want to do with that right there is this is the genuine shot that you need to get, okay? Now this shot right here that we just went over, This was more of a stage shot. So we want to get this particular shot after we get the important real life moment. Now, Mom was there. So what I actually did was, just for the editing purposes, the storytelling part, it was perfect that Mom and son had a nice hugging moment right now, especially after that ring footage, because it looked perfect. Now, this right here was also 50mm Steadicam. I knocked all three of these shots out pretty much back to back to back. Now we're gonna move on to the first look with the dad. We actually had Dad in the foyer first with all the bridesmaids gathered around. We had Dad turned around, so Dad was actually facing towards that front door, which is somewhere over here. And what we actually did was we got Pamela to walk up to him, tap him on the shoulder. My direction is, look, when she taps you on the shoulder, I need you to turn my direction. So that way you can go ahead and see his full reaction as soon as he sees her. So, beautiful moment right there. I didn't tell Dad to kiss her, that was all him. So, my most favorite part of the day is the sunset sessions. So, after the photographer has done their thing, normally what I will do is take the bride and groom out. The photographer has already had their time with them, so you need to make it clear that this is your time. Be more than happy and more than willing to have them tag along and get their own photos too. But this is really the moment of the video that makes the footage come alive. So this is a very important part of my day. I do not like to mess this part up at all. So what they did was they're walking towards me. I have the 24mm on. I have my focus already set on her ring. As they're walking towards me, I have the Steadicam in my hands and just a nice slow motion shot of that action happening. Immediately cut right here to a silhouette type shot of the bride and groom. I like to position them to where I'm shooting towards the light. I really like lens flares. If I can get a lens flare, I'm all about it. I didn't get one this time, but we got a little bit of one right there in the middle. So I personally only give myself about 10 or 15 minutes, 15 minutes tops, because they're ready to eat, they're ready to drink, they're ready to party, and they're done with the stress throughout the day. They don't need any more stress. So this is the part that I don't rush, but I know what I want and I know how to make it go quickly. So after we got this nice close-up lovey-dovey shot, we got to go to the wide. This is another pose that I really like to do. When he lifted her up, it was the perfect shot. Now, foreground. Like I said earlier, I really like to use the foreground in my shots. So this is another Steadicam 24mm shot. All I'm doing is just moving that Steadicam from left to right. So there was a little cornfield right here. I think it was corn. And what we're doing is really just revealing the bride and the groom from behind that field. So I immediately went ahead and cut from this shot to the fake exit. So same thing, I got them to do it again. This was actually a really challenging shot because the fireworks weren't really going off like grand finale style. It was like one here, one there, every now and then. So it was really hard to time it. So what I actually had to do, unless the bride and groom watch this, they're gonna now know that this is faked. This firework is real. This firework has been added. So I use the trickery of editing to do that. This one right here is also fake. So we actually watched that clip in its entirety. That's just another editing trick. We're not gonna go into that. We're just gonna go into the shot. So as far as this shot goes right here, this is a 14mm Steadicam shot. So just very slowly, just orbiting from left to right. So we got one really good firework. I went ahead and added the other two. You'd obviously never be able to tell. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed all of that right there. It was 19 shots. It took way longer than I thought it would, so I apologize in advance for that. But I definitely hope you guys got an idea of the equipment that I'm using, how to get these shots, knowing that it's okay to direct the bride and groom. But just remember, do not waste the bride and groom's time. Do not waste their time. Do not waste anyone else's time. Make sure you know what you're going to do before you do it. So other than that, until next week, guys, I appreciate you watching, and make sure you subscribe, and thanks. Later.